Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja. I'm Olajide Bello. First, the headlines. Nigeria to strengthen collaboration with Sweden for business-friendly environment. Presidency says there is no vacuum in leadership as president and vice president are out of the country. President of the Senate debunks invasion of National Assembly. Vice President Kashim Shatima is now in Sweden on a two-day visit to represent Nigeria in bilateral engagements with the Scandinavian nation at the instance of President Bola Tinubu. During the walking visit, the Vice President will engage in high-level bilateral talks with key government officials, including a meeting with Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden and the Swedish Prime Minister. Shatima will use the visit to explore opportunities for strengthened collaboration between Nigeria and Sweden in areas such as ICT, innovation, education, digitalization, sustainable transport, mining and agriculture. The Vice President will also meet with Norsken, a Stockholm-based venture capital impact investor, which recently launched a $205 million tech investment fund for Africa. While in Sweden, Shatima is also expected to articulate Nigeria's economic vision and the reforms being undertaken by the administration to create a business-friendly environment in Nigeria for investors. The Vice President is expected back in the country on Saturday. And following inquiries by journalists as to who is in charge of our country as the President and Vice President are out of the country, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, clarifies that the President and Vice President are fully engaged with the nation's affairs even while they are away. There is no leadership vacuum in the country. The statement added that President Tinubu left the country on 3rd October and is on a 2-week working vacation. During this time, he has been busy answering phones and issuing directives on matters of state. He will soon return to the country before the vacation officially expires. The Vice President departed the country Wednesday for Sweden on an official walking visit for Nigeria. Such all state organs are functioning as usual. The Senate President, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Ministers and Service Chiefs are all in their respective positions, ensuring the smooth operation of the government. The release, however, noted the Constitution does not explicitly require the physical presence of either the President or the Vice President in the country at all times to fulfill these duties. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, to lead a federal government delegation to Jigawa in response to Tuesday night's inferno in Majia town, which claimed over 100 lives. The government delegation will comprise the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, Minister of Transportation, Saidu Alkali, Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, Northwest, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai. While in Jigawa, the delegation is expected to visit the scene of the incident to assess the situation and visit injured persons in the hospital. President Tinubu further directs that emergency aid, including medical supplies, food and shelter, be extended to the 50 victims receiving treatment and others affected by the fire. He prays for divine comfort for the bereaved families and the peaceful repose of the souls of the departed. President Tinubu reassures the nation that the federal government, in collaboration with states, is committed to the swift and comprehensive review of fuel transportation safety protocols across the country. In a statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President restates his directive to the Federal Road Safety Corps to strengthen night travel measures such as increased patrol, strict enforcement of safety regulations and other highway safety mechanisms. The Senate has called on authorities to assist victims of Tuesday night's tanker explosion in Majia, Kwara local government area of Jigawa State. The issue raised as a matter of urgent public importance by Senator Babangida Hussaini drew the sympathy of the legislators as they expressed sadness over the death of more than 100 persons. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The tragic incident in Jigawa was the first matter for consideration at plenary Wednesday.
This catastrophic inferno occurred around 10 p.m. when the residents of the area trooped out en masse to the accident scene to scoop fuel from the ill-fated tanker.
This has happened in Lagos, it has happened in Ikeja, it has happened in my community in Akwa Ibom State before, and a lot of the burns were first-class burns. So here, over 100 people have been burned to death. I want to also pray that those in hospitals will also survive.
Senate mourned the victims and those bereaved and suggested intensified awareness by authorities to prevent such occurrence in the future. Senate passed for second reading 3 bills seeking the establishment of educational institutions.
Federal University of Medicine and Medical Science, Kogi State.
Federal College of Education, special in Kwara local government, Kano State.
Federal University of Education, special, Oyo State.
21 appointees of President Tinubu as commissioners of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission were also confirmed during plenary. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has advised Nigerians to disregard stories of planned impeachment of principal officers of the National Assembly, describing it as fake news and a figment of the author's imagination. A statement from the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Seme Yibo, indicates that an online publisher authored the mischievous story. The statement adds that the speculation and misinformation circulating about an alleged impeachment plot is the handiwork of fifth columnists who are perpetual merchants of misinformation and purveyors of mischief. It reaffirms the commitment of Akpabio to transformative leadership and effective collaboration with the other arms of government. Senator Godswill Akpabio, it's added, remains focused on the implementation of the 10th Senate's legislative agenda and working tirelessly to address the pressing national issues of growth and prosperity. Meanwhile, the Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senate Bashir Lado, has described as baseless the online publication. In a statement, Lado says there is no discord among the legislators as they are working in harmony for the peace and progress of Nigeria. The Nigerian Air Force have continued to demonstrate its commitment to providing aid to civil authority, completing an airlift mission on 16 October 2024 to deliver essential relief materials to flood victims in Borno State. Director Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akimboyewa, says the relief supplies donated by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, under the Renewed Hope Initiative were airlifted by NAF's C-130 Hercules aircraft from Abuja to Maiduguri with supplies comprising food items, clothing, sanitary essentials, as well as toys for children. These critical resources will provide much-needed succor to affected communities in Maiduguri that were devastated by the 10 September flood disaster. The relief materials were received by senior NAF officers led by the Air Components Commander, Operation Heading K, before being handed over to the Borno State government for distribution to flood victims. This mission highlights the NAF dedication to providing timely humanitarian assistance, particularly in regions severely impacted by natural disasters. It will be recalled that in addition to ongoing airlift missions, the NAF also launched a medical outreach program to support flood victims, provided food for over 2,000 internally displaced persons during the crisis. The collaboration between the First Lady's office and the NAF demonstrates the significance of collective efforts to alleviate the sufferings of those affected by flood in Borno State. The House of Representatives is urging the executive arm of government to hasten up the submission of the 2025 appropriation bill for consideration by the National Assembly. At Wednesday's plenary, lawmakers also pointed out that time is running out for the presentation of the medium-term fiscal policy framework as stipulated in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikwen tells us more.
Lawmakers during plenary were unanimous that the January to December budgetary cycle is a good policy that should be sustained. They equally expressed readiness to receive the 2025 appropriation bill.
The federal government must, not later than 4 months before the commencement of the next financial year, cause to be prepared and laid before the National Assembly and enter for the next 3 financial years. The time the National Assembly requires to exercise its functions as enshrined in Section 88, subsection 2B, is technically being taken away by the non-compliance of Section 11B of Fiscal Responsibility Act by the executive.
And giving a time frame to go ahead and get these budgets passed within a month, just like what happened last year, Mr. Speaker, is going to affect our oversight functions.
The last budget, like we rightly noted, we were almost rushed. In fact, we were rushed into concluding that budget. And that is what we want to avoid.
This motion is referred to the committees on national planning and economic development, appropriation and finance for further legislative action.
A motion seeking stable prices of petrol and cooking gas was referred to a joint ad hoc committee for investigation.
Does the regulation allow the price of petroleum product to be different in Lagos, in Abuja, in Jos, in Katsina, in Gombe?
We are calling on government not to remove the cylinder that the poor are already living under oxygen.
The joint committee of the House and Senate that's already mandated to take care of this situation should speedily get to work.
Lawmakers called for rehabilitation of highways in parts of the country.
Federal Minister of Works and FEMA to make adequate provision for the erosion control and rehabilitation at Obinomba, Ubiaroko, Umukwata section of Old Sapele Agbo Road.
Liaise with the Federal Ministry of Works and relevant agencies to ensure the speedy completion of the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Road.
The House also received the report of its Committee on Police Affairs on a bill for an act to amend the Nigeria Police Act 2020 to review the service years of police personnel. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Abuja Investment Company Limited is recalibrating business climate for optimal win as it assures genuine investors and would-be investors that they are in for a good deal soon. Abdullahi Ajia reports that this is the first Abuja Business and Investment Summit with keynote speaker and Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, steering the discourse for a patriotic investment drive.
Being the first high-level business and investment summit organized by the FCT administration under the auspices of the Abuja Investment Company Limited, the attendance was encouraging, stimulating a floodgate of scholarly views and expertise position from the keynote speaker to other guests who passionately talk about walking the talk.
To reawaken the spirits of Abuja investment.
For sustainability of our investment, it's in our enlightened self-interest to make sure that we empower everybody and lift the boat for everybody. That way we can secure investment of the future.
Most people have the notion that when you come into Abuja, all you do is just government business, politics, and does not have that business connotation, which is absolutely not right. As the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja is actually the gateway to investment in Nigeria. When we create and stimulate the economy and people invest, definitely there will be reduction of unemployment, and that will lead to reduction in crime, So that is basically what we're trying to do, to add value to what government is doing.
Ease of doing business, promoting made in Nigeria products, as well as creating a pathway for sustainable investment were some of the ideas put forward to change the narratives.
The base is changing. And like you said, until we are deliberate about making the base a place of invested national patriotic economy.
And everything about us, we should, as a matter of fact, promote it and make use of it, because that is the basis for every investment.
This goes a long way to show that FCT is ready
FCT is open, and FCT is also assuring all investors, both local and foreign investors, that all the enabling environment that they need is going to be made available.
First of all, have to have Nigerians who are ready to invest. The moment we get that, every other thing will follow.
With a vista of opportunities abound for all interest, the panel discussion on infrastructure development in Abuja provided more thoughtful insights to the business viability Abuja holds. Thereafter, guests and stakeholders catch a glimpse of a variety of products and services at the exhibition stands as more prospects are expected from the 3-day investment networking in Abuja. Abdullah Hajia, NTA.
As your president, I assure you that we are committed to finding sustainable solutions to alleviate the suffering of our citizens. Once again, I plead for your patience as the reforms we are implementing show positive signs, and we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Thanks for being there. Kogi State government has begun the 19.55 kilometer Bajana-Raku road project to improve rural connectivity under the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project in partnership with Ministry of Energy and Rural Development. Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo flagged off the project. Ajibola Christopher's report is hereby presented.
The road links the Obajana cement factory, farmlands and marketplaces between the cement community in Kogi West and Uruaku in Kogi Central. Its construction is expected to boost trade and agricultural activities, benefiting local farmers, traders and residents.
Many of our farmers face challenges in accessing market for their produce due to poor road infrastructure. When this road is completed, our farmers will be able to transport their produce in good time and fresh to the market at a reduced cost.
The governor called for community support to ensure the project's completion and urged the contractor to deliver a road that will serve future generations. Representing the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, Vivian Amadi acknowledged the World Bank for its support, stating that the project will contribute to the economic development of Kogi State and Nigeria.
To the contractors and to all those involved in the execution of this project, I urge you to ensure that the highest standards of quality and sustainability are maintained.
So this is for the benefit of our farmers to be able to bring their goods to the market center.
All the farm produce that are converged at the market, and some of them used to get rotten, with this access road, we'll be able to move them from the point of the market to where they're needed.
Now the state government, in collaboration with the World Bank, has brought this to enable them have a quicker access to the market. So it's good. Development is coming gradually.
This road project is a marker of development, signaling Kogi State's progress toward economic opportunities.
Medical facilities are sanctuaries of hope, places where healing and care should be second nature. But for some of these places, transform into arenas of unspeakable loss and regret. In this report, we delve into a devastating reality, one that has left families broken and trust shattered: medical negligence. Victor Azu shares the poignant stories of two men whose encounters with negligence in hospitals have left them with scars that can never truly heal.
Kano, a city where ancient history meets the hum of modern life. Here in the heart of the city, a state-of-the-art hospital stands tall, a structure that from the outside radiates hope and advanced care. But beneath its sleek exterior, there is another story, one of pain and betrayal. Inside its walls, the promise of healing has slipped away for some, leaving their families with only questions and grief. I meet Daha Tijani in Abuja, a doctoral degree holder in management. He speaks with the calm of a man accustomed to logic and reason. But when he recalls his family's ordeal, the pain seeps through his every word. His father, Tijani Abdurrahman, 70, went to the Kano hospital seeking treatment. What he found instead was a tragedy, one that left him blind in one eye.
He went to one of the hospitals in Kano and he was told that it's cataract. On the 1st of September, he went for this procedure and he was told after he had went into the theater that the procedure could not continue because of complications with anesthesia. And then my dad also complained about that same anesthesia procedure because he told me that he felt like he was being electrocuted after the insertion of the injection, and that he also alleged that the person who did the same procedure was the same ophthalmologist who administered the anesthesia. It took them about 2 weeks to admit that my father has lost his eye, while they kept telling him that it is only because the pressure of the eye has elevated and that we should wait. When it subsides, they will continue with the procedure.
And this isn't an isolated case. Mohammed Abubakar, 54, shares a similar fate. A stone injury at age 10 left him blind in one eye, and recent treatment failures at this same hospital has taken away his sight completely.
They said I have cataract and they did operation for me. I realized that the little light I used to see with the eye is no longer there. That is when I complained to the doctor that saw me that I cannot see the light. Then he told me that he is sorry, that the chances of me seeing again is very tiny.
Now he navigates life with the help of others, a man whose vision was stolen not once, but twice. Mohammed and Daha's stories raise a critical question. What is happening behind the closed doors of our healthcare facilities? How many others have suffered in silence? A survey published by the Archives of Medicine and Health Sciences revealed a startling statistic. 42.8% of surveyed medical practitioners had faced accusations of malpractice. And globally, according to the World Health Organization, medical errors claim more than 2.6 million lives annually. Here in Nigeria, the numbers are sobering. 16% of patients experience adverse events, many leading to permanent disability or death.
If you go forward to go and make a diagnosis when you don't have the requisite skills, the requisite knowledge, the requisite equipment, then you are negligent.
Yet, for most victims, seeking justice remains elusive, where the scales of justice often weigh heavily against those in search of accountability.
One is dearth of information. The second one is knowledge, absence of knowledge, absence of the fact that they have a right. And then the third one is the financial burden, the requisite resources that will enable them initiate the procedure for seeking and obtaining their rights.
What happens when a doctor is found to have been negligent? At the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, I probe deeper into their role in holding erring professionals accountable.
If the tribunal makes a verdict of guilty, the law gives them the authority to levy sanctions against them, which may be as high as ordering that the doctor's name be erased from the register, meaning that he ceases to be a doctor legally, or they order that the doctor be suspended from practice for a period of time, not longer than 6 months, or the doctor is reprimanded.
For many, like Mohammed and Daha's father, the deed is done and the trauma remains. But their stories is a stark reminder of the hidden crisis in our healthcare system, where lives are lost and justice is a distant dream. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Now that's it on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.